Hello everyone, my name is Coolpilot and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Mishaps, where we now can see outside the back of our bunker. Well, not quite fully the back, because the back's already back there, but the back corner, I suppose. This is that hallway we dug last time in between the storage room and the workroom, I guess, crafting room, whatever you want to call it. This is actually one block higher than what the floor will be in either of these rooms, but I did that so that way the class would be at this level, matching with kind of the design of what the hallways were out there when it comes to the marble. And this one being basically the limestone's been moved up to block, and then these are full blocks instead of stairs. Of course, this is not new limestone. I still have not found any more limestone, which is annoying as hell. This is using a little bit of our spare limestone just so I could make sure this looked alright. But yeah, it looks good. As I said, this is one block higher than what these two rooms will be, so I'll just have stairs going down into them. But you can get a nice view of the outside now, which is very convenient. I haven't done too much work other than this, I did some more digging. That was about it. And we are going to continue digging in this episode, digging our new room. We're actually going to have a nice new room that we're going to be decorating over the coming several episodes, in between doing some more work with magic. Need to set up this guy. Just set him right here. Doop. And stick all our cobble in there, because we need to repair some of our stuff. There we go. And suppose repair Bama up a bit. There we go. Already healed up my pick because that was needed. Singular marble, I guess we'll just stick here for now. Oh, and we need to lay our bed down because this is going to be a lot of work. This is going to be a massive bloody room. We have to go, well, from this point, this wall, we have to dig 21 blocks this way across this entire expanse. And then we have to dig up 19 blocks, if I remember right. Might be a little higher. I would have to double check that number. But we're not going to be digging up in this episode. I'll probably be taking care of that part off camera. We're going to be digging this way, along with talking a little bit more about what happened during that month-long break of mine. I wasn't able to do anything, or I wasn't able to make any videos, I should say. Oh, and if you're wondering, wait, why wasn't there Survive Up this week? Wasn't he supposed to get back to normal schedule this week? Well, yes, but then trip planning got in the way, along with, I had to work only on Monday, but that did take up Monday. But I had to do a lot of planning for my trip to Comic-Con, so I spent my time doing that, which is still not even done. I still have to plan out all my meals yet, but I got most of the stuff done. Most everything planned out beyond that. So I'm mostly ready, mostly prepared for my trip. But that was just something that needed to get done, so I did that. And there were also other issues as well. That was just one of the main reasons. Alright, so that's one. We're gonna make a nice little line here of nothing, since we don't have any marble on us. Put our F7 on, that's alright. I suppose if we wanted more marble, we'll use that. I guess I can take this one back out. At least use that one for like the middle brick. I'm just laying down lines so I know exactly where things go. Now, before I start talking too much about what happened during the month-long hiatus, should probably explain what the hell it is I'm building here. That is going to be so flippin' tall, not even such a big room as well. What we are building here is, if you notice where we are, this little top corner lines up right here, And if we come down this way, I'm gonna have to fill in that lava up there before I dig out the whole roof too, just for safety's sake. You can see the bottom of this room fits right here. So the room is basically right in here. Now I'm not sure if the map's not going to zoom in this mode because my mouse wheel's not working. Page up, page down doesn't work in this mode. But this right here is that tall, flat wall of stone that had the sandstone and the sand on it that I initially had pointed out as a possible entrance to the bunker. We ended up making an actual entrance up here. But I'd also thought about making this a sea entrance, an entrance for our boats to come in. And this room is being made big enough so that way, well, this whole area here is basically going to be the path around the central area right in here. That's going to hold, basically this area is the dock and this area will be the water that will hold our ships. And it's being made big enough, and the reason why it's also so tall is because it's being made big enough to hold the largest ship available in this mod pack, which is, I don't actually remember the name of the thing, but if we, get rid of this thing and go back a few pages or so, we should be able to see it. Yep, right here. The Hoy. The Hoy is the largest ship made by putting together 3 white holes, which are the medium-sized ship, which is made by putting together 3 punts, which itself is a bunch of wood and wool. Just going to take quite a bit to make the Hoy, but I will want to make it at some point. Going to want to eventually have one of 3. Well, not one of 3. One of each, although only one of them will obviously be able to fit within this room we're building. And we will be using those ships to, of course, explore the ocean. And it's in the middle of the night now, so I should go to sleep because it's warning me about the server being overloaded, as always. I cannot wait to eventually get a new computer. First thing I'm going to be saving up for after Comic-Con. So we've already gone 5 blocks, so we'll have to go 15 more. So basically 3 more blocks of 5. Which is basically what we've been doing for all the hallways. We're going to have to be careful with digging all this stuff out, though, because this is going to be a huge room. This is going to be a lot of, a big block of stone we're digging out. So we are bound to run into some silverfish. Luckily, silverfish, unlike other mobs like zombies, cannot break torches, so we don't have to worry about that. We'll just have to worry about the silverfish themselves when they spawn. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more before I can place the torch. The torch will go right there. So that month that I was gone, there was a lot going on in that month. Actually, before I had even started, really feeling. Again, it wasn't technically sick. It was just sinus problems, sinus buildup, presumably from allergies of some kind. But before that had even happened, I had to work. I work at a grocery store, cost cutter specifically, here in Blaine, and stupid dirt. 1, 2, 3, 4. Torch. It's already most of the way through this area. Which is surprising. Oh, did not mean to do that. And why the heck is gravel on my heart ball? There we go. And before I had gotten sick, in fact, even the day I was starting to feel bad, starting to notice the problems, because I had run out of Flonase right before it went over the counter. I was having several fairly long groceries. That's way longer than what most of my shifts are. Usually, I work 5-hour shifts at the most as a courtesy clerk, and even most of my grocery shifts are that way, 4 or 5 hours. They're having me work 8-hour shifts because we were moving a bunch of our shelves, a bunch of our aisles, from being, in, say the shelves were running this direction, we would move them from this way over to this way. So there was a lot of work involved in putting all the stuff back onto the shelves once the moving team, the put quotes like around the moving team, because I don't really know what to call them. Once they had gotten everything moved over, essentially. Now, is this close enough? Is this right? This is 20 blocks. Plus the 5. Let me just hit escape here real quick. You won't be able to see this once again, but I'm going to double check the measurements here. At 20 blocks. That should be correct. Although one thing I should check. Actually, we're going to go out here. We're going to check a couple things. To try and make sure that everything is approximately where it should be. So like right here. Should be able to go about 4 blocks. I'm actually going to go right here. 4 blocks in. 4 hitting side. And we are going a lot farther than we should be able to. And of course the page up, page down aren't bloody working. Dang it. Nope, nope, nope. Mouse wheel, page up, page down, yeah. And why are there so many monsters around? There's no cave here. This is outside. I guess because they spawn. Yeah, so I think this room is actually going to be a bit bigger than it needs to be. Because that hallway isn't as close to the edge of the mountain as I thought it was. And this might not be as close to the wall as I thought it was. But we have a lot to dig out still, so we'll see once we get, this part dug out. Stupid gravel. Hate gravel. Yeah, having doing all that shelf work, refilling all these shelves was kind of interesting. Moving everything around. But of course, then I got sick. And for a while, it was just me who was sick. But eventually, my parents ended up getting sick. Now, of course, they blame me for it, saying, oh, they caught what I had, but all of my symptoms were derived from a runny nose. I didn't even have any nasal swelling, which is actually unusual. Even for the sinuses alone. But if I was sick, if I had, come down with some sort of virus, I definitely would have had swelling, because I always do, at the very least. But nope, everything was derived from the runny nose. Just double check this. Oh, this is not covered, so we'll place a torch there. But they ended up getting sick, and both of my parents ended up getting pneumonia. My dad actually had to go to the hospital for it. He was in there for about 4 days. He was hacking. I think he was throwing up as well because of it. My mom is, had pneumonia as well. She's just now gotten over it. She didn't go to the hospital, and in a way, the doctor actually didn't want her to, because he didn't want her getting the chance of getting sick from with something else from the other patients in the hospital. But she has healed up, but having asthma stuff, so all sorts of health problems going on with us. And then, after all of this, while my dad was still in the hospital, or had just, gone in the hospital the previous day, if I remember right, I had gotten better enough to at least start working, although my voice was still fairly out, and that was what, kept me out for the longest time, was my voice, from making videos, that is. Looks like this covers up everything. That's only needed because this was one block farther. You can see it's spaced by 5 because of the spacer here. But yeah, the first day back at work, I come home and I had to walk down the hill to get to work and walk back. Normally they drive me down the hill just so I don't have to go the effort of actually walking down. It saves me a bit of time and a bit of trouble and a bit of energy. Especially since it's a fairly intensive job most of the time. Torch goes right here. Alright. But after walking home, I come to find out that all of our toilets are backed up. Because, well, the whole sewage system, our whole sewage system, and we are on a septic system, was backed up, so we couldn't use any of the toilets, or the sinks, or wash dishes, or use the showers, or do anything whatsoever when it came to water. I would dig through here. Oh, nope. We are actually perfect. We are right on cue. Hello, outside world. So the wall would be here. And then this would be out. I suppose we don't actually have to dig up 19 blocks because we're actually fairly high up at the moment. We actually have to go down a fair bit. It's interesting. Didn't realize that. Well, for now, hold this back up. I don't have any glass on me at the moment. Though I will put glass there as a temporary thing. Once we get that all dug out. Let's keep digging all this out, though. So yeah, we couldn't use the toilets or anything. And we couldn't use it for not just that night, but the whole next day. And I think they finally got it fixed like the following night. So it's basically like a full day, or it was a day and a half because it might have been even the day after that. It's been a little bit now. I don't quite remember how long it was before we had it fixed. But they had to dig up a chunk of the front yard to get to the septic system to check for broken pipe and dump, and to pump everything out of the septic system. So ended up with a big hole in our front yard and a couple of plants ripped up. It's kind of stressful month with all that crap going on. Of course, feel sorry for Mom a bit with all the bills now that come with all of that stuff that happened. Plumbing and hospital bills especially, of course. But everyone's mostly better now. Well, I'm still healing, but... Hey, limestone! Lucky us. Finally found some of the bloody stuff. I swear, this stuff is rarer than diamonds. Rarer than emeralds. How far we gotta go? 5 more, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then just finish up. There we go. Well, at least we got some limestone for once. And we already got this whole space dug out. As I said, we're going to have to dig down as well. Not quite sure how I'm going to deal with getting down to the docks. I mean, this is going to be where, you actually, these sides will be the 2 docks, on either side of where the boat will end up being. Let's get a sleep on here. I'm thinking probably having staircase go back and forth, in this area down to the level of the docks. That'll probably be the way I end up doing it. Let's go put some of this material away. Let's double check though. Make sure that everything is green, because we don't want any chances of anything spawning in here whatsoever. We're all good. There we go. Sandstone there. So let's go, well, first turn this off and go drop off all this extra supplies, all these extra blocks, I should say. So it was it's a bit of hectic, with a lot of stuff going on, and then to end it, right after I had finished, getting all healed up, had it for first week back at work. My second week back at work, I was originally going to have 2 courtesy shifts, and then a couple, grocery shifts, 4-hour grocery shifts late at night, which has kind of become a routine schedule, although the schedule keeps getting changed. But that goes in here. These other 2 go in the crafting room, whatever it's called, manufacturing room. I do need to come up with an official name for this place, but I just don't know. Manufacturing room does kind of sound a little bit better than crafting room, though, so I might end up going with that. Yeah, I'm supposed to have a couple grocery shifts, a couple late night grocery shifts, but then it got changed to having 4 days in a row of scheduled for 8 hours. The hours ended up differing from day to day. Working at, I forgot to grab the marble. Granted, there's all sorts of marble around us, but grab what we already have rather than digging out the floors and ceilings. They wanted me to work over at the old Linden cost cutter. Now, something to know about this old Linden cost cutter, for those of you who haven't lived in Linden, which will probably be all of you. The Linden cost cutter was this old big store, not like huge stores, about normal for a grocery store, but it was big for a cost cutter, because cost cutter's a local-ish chain. It's a small grocery chain. It's not like Safeway or QFC or anything like that, or Costco or any of those guys. Let's go ahead and start making our marker lines here. Put that guy back. But this was a decent-sized store that has been abandoned, or presumed abandoned, since 2008, because the store closed during the financial recession. Because the company was hurting and had to close the thing down, especially since we also had a food pavilion, which is owned by the same company, in this, really right down the street, in the same city. So they kept the food pavilion and closed down the larger, more expensive Costco. Or not the Costco. Cost cutter. However, there wasn't anything to fill up the space. So while everyone, including myself and my family and everyone I know, thought that this place had been empty, because there was no one around to actually fill in the void, the landlord allowed the companies to still lease and use the building, presumably at a lower rate, as a warehouse to store all sorts of junk, really, is what ended up being in there. All sorts of junk. A hell of a lot of junk. Some food. So, the task that they gave me, and the reason why they wanted me working down there, was to help move all of this junk over to the Ferndale warehouse, the recently closed cost cutter in Ferndale. Basically doing the same thing with the recently closed, with that closed cost cutter, as they did with the old cost cutter in Linden. For Criminal Cost Cutter was shut down because obviously, once again, wasn't making enough money. Expensive. Competition from Hagen's in Ferndale. So, yeah. So that got closed down. But we had to move everything because a store was finally moving into that space in Linden. It's going to be some sort of chain tractor store of some description, which fits for Linden, being a farming town, mostly. Old Dutch Christian farming town. So we had to move all that stuff. However, the first day I was supposed to work, I didn't work because I didn't know I was supposed to work there. They changed the schedule on Friday. Normally the schedule is supposed to be posted on Tuesday, and the courtesy schedule is half a heart damage from stupid gravel. Courtesy gravel. The courtesy clerk schedule is normally posted on Tuesday, or my manager, at least, front-end manager, at least tries to get it on Tuesday. Sometimes it'll be Wednesday. If she has to finagle some things. Try and figure out, what to do with the schedule. But generally it's up on Tuesday, and that's when it's supposed to be up. The grocery schedule is always posted late. I mean, this past week, it was posted on... I think it wasn't posted until Saturday. It's Friday or Saturday, way at the end of the week. But the previous week, too, when I had to work at that warehouse, I had last worked Thursday. And the grocery schedule was actually up at that point. But there was no mention of me working in Linden. It was 2 courtesy shifts and the 2 grocery shifts, all in Blaine. Normal shifts that I'm even doing now. But the manager ended up changing the schedule to reflect the fact that they wanted me to work at the warehouse, moving stuff around and destroying shelves, rebuilding the shelves, throwing stuff out, and all sorts of nonsense. But they forgot to actually tell me. So I actually missed out a day on extra work, which I actually really wanted, because having missed a month of work and having a Comic-Con trip to Seattle Comic-Con coming up, really wanted the extra hours. I'm actually getting some extra hours this week, which is probably a good thing that I didn't start on the normal schedule, because I'm definitely not going to be able to do much at the end of this week. I'm working 8 hours instead of the original 5 tomorrow, and I'm supposed to be working 8 hours on Friday instead of the original 4. So, yeah, losing a lot of extra time. But it's getting me some extra money for the Comic-Con, and anything I don't spend at the Comic-Con, I'll have that for when I need to start saving up for computer. It was just... It's a bit of a mess of a month. I'm glad that it is over. And I am able to start getting back to work on videos and on the comic and everything else. And back to somewhat normal, some amount of normalcy. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to that Comic-Con, of course. And obviously there'll be no videos while I'm off at Seattle, but, that I'll remind about later on. Looks nice in here, having all of this dug out. So as I said, the next step will be digging downward and figuring out how far down we're going, and using that to figure out how far up we need to dig from this point. Seeing, depending on how much, how high we already are. And we'll need to dig these areas on the sides down at the very least. We'll see what I need to do about staircases here in the back, and then this will be this wall leading to the outside will end up being glass for now, as I work on digging this down. Eventually, though, we will be putting a gate in here, and we will be using a little device from Thumbcraft that arcane ear device. We'll be using that to control some, it is not Thaumcraft, Tinker's Construct. It's the TC, that's why I was thinking Thaumcraft for some reason. So Tinker's Construct drawbridge blocks. We'll be using those. I'm not sure exactly what level of drawbridge block we'll end up needing, but we'll still be needing several drawbridge blocks pointed down to control a gate that we'll be able to open and close from outside and from inside as well. And we'll be able to remotely open it using that arcane ear. And we'll have a nice space in here to dock our ships safely. So that will be very nice. And it's going to take a lot of work to decorate this build, because once this thing is actually fully dug out, because I've actually done a test dig of this room already, because I had to figure out what size space I would need and whether it would fit in here for that largest ship. And it's quite big, so it's going to take a lot of work to decorate this room eventually, but obviously first we have to actually dig the thing out. And once we have it all finished, we'll have a nice way to dock our ship as said, and be able to use that ship to explore more of the ocean, because we really haven't explored very far. I want to explore more of this ocean here, as well as this ocean here and down by spawn. And that's kind of all that we can see for now. But I'll be wanting to explore those areas more. Now the big ship will be able to explore this ocean fine. In order to get down here though, we will have to build a canal. Where are these? Oh yeah, those are a couple ore nodes. That's where the Perdido ore node is found. We'll have to build a canal of some sort. I don't know if it'll be very efficient to do it through here, though. We'll have to think about that at some point. But we'll be seeing what's around when we go to explore. To go find some more land, some more different resources, some more trees, because of course I want to build an arboretum at some point, although the arboretum will not be here at the bunker. But I do still want to collect the trees for it. But yeah, making some nice progress here on the bunker. There will be other things through the bunker, because we have this whole mountain to build under. I mean, we're using this little spot for the ship, but we have all of this space available to us. I am thinking of having like a little cathedral of some sort here, where we will, potentially have the records of our deaths, to get the one death that we have had, or I have had, out of the, I've already forgot the name of manufacturing room. Already forgot the new name of the room. And, but it was in the cathedral to, mark any deaths that we end up having. I think that's just kind of fitting. And we have plenty of vertical space here, because this mountain is really freaking tall. And as for the rest of the space, I don't know at this point. I will definitely want to have a bedroom somewhere at some point. Although I may actually incorporate the bedroom into this room and have it up above the top of this gate overlooking the water, because I think it will be a nice view. So I might end up doing that. That's an idea to think about, although not top priority. That's something to think about. It's a lot of work to do in this place. And we're going to have to start doing some more remodeling work on these hallways. Now that we have a little bit of limestone, we can do a bit, but we're going to need a lot more resources than that. And we're going to need a lot more wood and even, I think, more marble than what we have, because these walls take up a lot of marble. Of course, the floors take up tons of limestone, too. How much marble do we have? About 7 stacks. I was going to say 6 and something, but yeah, it's about 7 stacks. These guys are still growing. Oh, we got 2 more. Don't let it run into the other plant, though. There we go. Oh yeah, I was leaving these guys off because I was going to relocate them It is right. Get them out of here and have a separate farm for those guys. I need to do a little bit of work on the farm here. I actually need to shrink this farm by 1 space in either direction to match up with the hallways. Yeah, been doing a bit of farming work in here. Got to keep that up for our supplies. And of course we want to keep advancing in magical crops. So that's been going fairly well. I'll deal with this more later. But yeah, we want to do more, start getting to work on remodeling all these rooms and these hallways. This entranceway especially is where I want to start working in. Here in the storage room, I want to get our actual storage set up relatively soon and get this room dug out for our animals and get that decorated minus the roof because we won't be able to do the roof for a while. Our umber roses have been growing. So let's grab these 3. Let that one continue to spread around. And we'll put this right on over. Do you want to put it in here? Yeah, we have a couple other flowers in here. So put them in there. With our dyes, that'll be useful to have. Yeah, I want to get to work on remodeling this place. But next time we will indeed be going back to the magic. Oh, forgot to drop off the essence. We'll be going back to Thaumcraft and doing some more work there, some more research, and hopefully some more creation of stuff. Well, we will be doing more creation stuff because I had already had that set up, already had that planned for what would be have been the original last episode. Because yeah, we have all this cloth and stuff here to make our robes. So we'll be working on that some, and we're also going to start going back and forth between working on Thaumcraft and eventually magical crops some more, and on construction. But that will be it for this episode. It feels a lot more spacious in here just having this opened up. You're having these walls gone, and having this opened up, and being able to see outside with the sunlight. It feels so much more open. I just love it. But that'll be it for this episode, as I said. And I will see you guys next time.